Hello, everyone. Always Go Clockwise is back. This is Lewis. Tonight we're just gonna discuss something different. We're not gonna do a watch review. We're gonna discuss things that I've learned from the master watchmaker and watch dealer that services my watches. The team at Nicholas Hackel Watchmaker. That's the shop that services my watches, specifically the Omegas. And they share this to their clients. Take it for the grain of salt. You can comment, you can agree, disagree, but yeah, I'm just gonna share this anyway. And please like, comment, and subscribe before anything else. Okay, before we start, wrist check. I'm wearing the Omega Speedmaster Broad Arrow, reference 3594.50. So otherwise known as the re-edition, the 957 re-edition, 40th anniversary. This came with a mission box, mission control box, in 1997. But I think this is year 2000. So yeah, I love this watch. Very special. Similar case as the Moonwatch Professional. Speedmaster. But we'll review this in a future date. My personal favorite, one of my favorite watches. But before that, in a later date, we'll review that. For now, let's go through some tips on how to properly take care of your watch. Okay. You might not agree with all of it, but I'll share it anyway. This is something I've learned from, as I've said, Nicholas Howe. First, avoid activities that exposes your watch to serious shock. A lot of you already know this, but like wearing it playing tennis or basketball or touch footy or anything that jars and sudden jolting movements of your wristwatch, that's not good. Apparently those sudden vibrations can impact the movement, aside from the fact that you may scratch that. So yeah, avoid those, okay? Don't be like Federer. Federer is sponsored by Rolex. He doesn't pay for servicing. You will. All right. Next, avoid sources of strong magnetic fields. We already, magnetism. It's very hard to demagnetize a watch. You'll have to get it serviced. That's gonna cost you money. So yeah, and you know what? Some of our smartphones actually contain magnets that could magnetize your watch. So be careful where you store it. I know that there's an anti-magnetic, most of our watches are anti-magnetic, but not all. And you don't know the angles that could magnetize your watch. So just better be safe than sorry. I'll always repeat that. The third, avoid showers and saunas. These mist, even though your watch is waterproof, especially those dive watches that haven't been serviced for more than 5 years. Those seals might be loose, and they might not be waterproof anymore, or some certain leaks, and you don't want your precious dive watch or your precious watch for whatever type it is, even though it's supposed to be waterproof, you don't want that being damaged, water damage or mist damage, moisture damage. That's it. The fourth, don't force anything such as chronograph pushers, the chronograph pushers, winding crown, any other buttons. If it's not, threading through, don't force it. If the winding or pushing action is not smooth, stop. Don't proceed any further. You're gonna cause more damage by forcing it through. These are fine threads. You don't want to do that. Just consult your watch specialist where you get your watch service. And that's why you try to establish a good relationship with your master watchmaker in your area. It will help because they know this is their job. This is their specialization, So better be safe than sorry, okay? You might, instead of just a normal replacement part because you forced it, all the whole assembly needs to be replaced. What could be a $500 replacement or $250 becomes a $1,200 replacement or repair plus labor. So don't force it. All right. Okay. The fifth one. Keep the crown pushed in and screwed down if it's a screw lock type. How many times can you see that there's a screw lock crown that is open, and next thing you know, the post is, I've got moisture inside my watch. I've got mist inside my watch. Moisture damage. There's a reason why it's a screw lock it's a screw lock crown. Use it. If you're not winding it, no need to be unscrewed. Screw down those screw down lock. Make sure it's protected. Diba? You gotta better use it. It's there for a reason. Use it, Yeah. This one, I actually had to ask this next one. Don't set the date when the hour hand is between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. Apparently, a lot of our movements have got the mechanism that can be damaged when the position of the hour hand is between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. So basically, try not to set the date around those hours when the hour hand is between 8 p.m. and 2 a.m. So if any of you can explain this to me, because I was in a rush, I wasn't able to really ask and go deep in it. Anyone who knows about the reason behind the position or the specific mechanism that can get damaged, please post in the comments. I really would like to know. There will probably are experts that knows why. Because I'm not gonna go back to Nicholas Hako's watchmaker office in about 4 weeks. So might as well tell me. If you know, please put it in the comments. Discuss, and I want to learn. Okay. Next, clean the watch and bracelet regularly. A toothbrush and a soapy water is enough to do the job if you have a water-resistant watch. However, dry promptly with a hair dryer. Now, with this one, do not overheat. If it's too hot for your hand, then it's too hot for your watch, even though it's a stainless steel or what have you, precious metal. Your watch may be sealed, but grime will find its way into your watch eventually if not removed. So yeah, just clean it, especially those, or maybe just wipe it. If it's not, like, for example, the Speedmaster is not really waterproof. It's only like 30 meters. So practically away from water. I'll just wipe it. I wipe it with just similar to the Oakley eyeglasses cloth. Just wipe it. After every use, just wipe it, make sure, I actually even put a protective tape in the clasp because desk diving, that's the first thing that gets scratched. So I put the protective tape that you put in bikes, in carbon fiber bikes, I put it there. So that's another tip to take care of your watch, okay? Extra. That's not from Nicholas Hako, that's from me. I do that in my Omegas. Okay. Now, avoid extreme temperatures and especially extreme temperature changes. Now, this might not be a big problem, but for example, if you're traveling and all of a sudden you're going from, say, Sydney's or Australia or Melbourne's or Queensland summer, then all of a sudden you're traveling to Canadian winter. Like, December, it's summer in Australia, and then you go to North America, it's winter. So that's a sudden change. So it will affect the movement and the lubricants inside. So sudden changes, So avoid that. Okay. Make sure you cover up, not exposed. But jackets inside, that would cover it. A thick jacket. Anyway. So things like that. Avoid contact with solvents, chemicals, and cosmetic products. Some solvents can damage acrylic crystals. Like this is a Hesalite crystal, so it's not what do you call that? Sapphire. So just be careful with that. There are some solvents that can damage acrylic or plastic crystals. So be mindful of that. So just be careful with that. That's another tip. This one is something that gonna be common for the next one will be something common for people that have a lot of automatic watches. If not wearing your watch regularly, wind it at least once a month to prevent the oil drying out. Mechanical watches only, of course, not quartz. Watch winders, as convenient as they are, do introduce additional wear. For me, I only use my watch winders in the rotation of watches I normally wear. But for the other Swiss watches, I don't have a lot of watches anyway, but I just leave them be. And I use them every weekend, every other weekend on rotation. And then that's just when I wind them. So yeah, so just manage that. You don't want to use your Swiss watch always on a multiple winder because it will wear out. Just like a car, if you're always getting it wound up in use, so you're wearing out the gears. So yeah, so that's it. If you can live without a watch winder, then don't use one. Yeah, so I only have a watch two watch winder. So that's enough for me, and only for certain watches anyway. My beater watches, so that I don't have to adjust the date. Always read the manufacturer's manual for guidance on proper use. Of course, that's a standard. Now, the last one, I don't always agree with this. Get your watch serviced every 5 years. This depends. The reason why I don't always agree is some recommend 10 years, some recommend 5 years. This is something that's up to you. In terms of getting it serviced regularly, you can get away with some watches 8 to 10 years. But what's recommended is every 5 years. So because the oil, the lubricants, the explanation that was given to me, it's like a heart attack. You don't know when your watch will suddenly stop, and by that time you're probably gonna replace more of the movements because you've let it run and worn the gears out more. So that's the explanation. So you might think you're saving money, but in the end, that extra time that you didn't get it serviced, it's gonna you have to replace more parts. So yeah, so false economy, that's how it was explained to me. Okay, so it makes sense. Although if you have a lot of Swiss watches, it does become very expensive. So yeah, so take it with a grain of salt. And for me, I actually brought I started getting my watches serviced one by one because I'm in that part where I'm already in the game watch collecting for about 8 years now. 8 years, yeah, something like that. 8 to 9 years. So I have to get most of my watches serviced. Yeah, I'm getting tongue tied, that when it comes to servicing because it is expensive. Okay, and if you're unsure of anything, ask the watch experts. Ask the people you trust, the people that service your watch. If you're not sure of anything, that's what I do. I ask them, so yeah, and establish a good relationship. Now, I trust the master watchmakers at Nicholas Hako's team, Andrew, and also Gemma. So yeah, shout out to them. I'm a new customer, but before that, I've been researching where I can bring my watches and get it serviced. So yeah, all right. Again, thanks for listening. That's all for me today. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Please, positive, negative. Yeah, let's discuss watches. We all love watches, so let's share our ideas. Let's share our opinions. In a respectful way. And I will hear from you soon. You will hear from me soon, and then we'll have the next watch review next week. Bye. See you.